Hello everybody, Crypto Chaperone here, and today I want to talk to you guys about a little bit of information about a recent hack that has happened in cryptocurrencies, as well as is this potentially the end? Is this the bubble bursting for cryptocurrencies? And I'm going to tell you guys why I think that this could not be the end of cryptocurrencies. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned to this video because I think cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, all these coins, even though they're dipping and you're seeing a lot of red and a lot of just FOMO and FUD and everything going on, you still have the opportunity to pick up these coins at some of the lowest prices you're going to see this year. And I'm going to talk to you guys why I think personally that is. Before I get into any of this, I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and do your own due diligence before you invest in anything. Before you even get into cryptocurrencies, make sure that you are willing to lose any money that you invest into them. Because this is a complete gamble. It's an unregulated market and you could lose everything that you invest tomorrow. As you've seen, if you were somebody that was investing at $19,000 and $18,000 Bitcoins, you have seen a tremendous loss in your portfolio up until this point. So depending when you buy into things, you're going to definitely want to do all of your research and be ready for whatever could possibly happen in these markets. So getting right into what I got for you guys today. Japanese authorities actually today, or well, what would be yesterday or within the last like 12 hours, since the Japanese time is a little bit ahead of us, on Friday, Japanese authorities raided Coincheck's offices. And if you guys were paying attention earlier in this week, Coincheck is an exchange and they had their exchange hacked and they had about $500 million in cryptocurrencies that were moved from the exchange, and it influenced about 260,000 users on the exchange. And what Coincheck has actually said is that they are going to reimburse about 90% of all the users' money, and what they are being rated for more or less is because that the officials want to make sure that they have this money on hand and that they are doing whatever they can to upgrade their security to make sure that this doesn't happen again and nobody loses any more money again. They didn't really receive much of a fine or anything like that. The only thing that they really cracked down and did was kind of raided their buildings, but they're not taking their equipment forever or anything like that. They just want to make sure that they have the money in their possession because they are not paying these people back in cryptocurrencies. They're not creating their own coin and paying these people back with some sort of an ICO coin or something like that they're going to make. They're going to be paying these people back in actual yen. So the officials wanted to make sure that they had the money on their systems in a wallet or somewhere before they let them go and they let them attempt to do anything. They have until I think February 13th or 16th to also get their security measures raised and all of that. So we'll see how that goes. That's also a big problem that you're going to have in a lot of these exchanges is these cryptocurrencies start to grow in price. You're going to run into more phishing schemes and more hacks, and everybody is going to be trying to get a hold of these ever valuable growing assets. So, like I try to tell you guys, do not store your cryptocurrencies in an exchange. And it's unfortunate that 260,000 people combined lost about $500+ million. And I'm sure a lot of those people are going to be happy that they can at least recoup 90% of their losses. But even 90% of your losses in a falling market like this is definitely going to be not that exciting. Now, it depends. If you had maybe $100,000 in there and they're going to be paying you back 90% based on your $100,000 that you had in there when it got hacked, even though prices are still falling, you might come out on top on that one actually, because if you have Bitcoin or maybe even a coin like Ripple or something like that that fell tremendously. I think the only coins that were really hacked were NEM and Ripple, and I think they mostly got all of the Ripple coins back. But I think the NEM coins are what the problem was. So I don't know if there was anything else, if they're going to take coins from other people to pay back, kind of how other exchanges get hacked. They kind of take away from everybody and then make the hit happen to pretty much everybody. And then they reimburse kind of based on everybody. So not just one or two people lose all their money. It would be just maybe everybody in the exchange would lose 1 or 2% of their money instead of everybody losing all of their money, or a few people losing all their money, to kind of spread out the losses. But I mean, depending if you were one of the people that didn't lose your money, that would really suck for you. But if you were one of the people that did lose your money, you would be kind of grateful for that to happen. So depending on how they pay it back, if they pay it back on the current market price and the market price whenever it was hacked, people could be potentially making a little bit more money on these dipping markets based on how they pay this out, if they have the money to pay it out. So that's pretty much all the news I've really got for you guys today. I haven't really been paying too much attention to cryptocurrencies over the past 24 hours. I'm not dipping into the news massively. I'm trying to get ahead on some things that are going on. Not really looking into too many ICOs, but I am looking into some of these cheaper coins that have great potential to go booming and to go up 3 and 5 times over this cryptocurrency boom that I think is going to happen. And I think a lot of other investors and even YouTube influencers and people who are interested in this whole cryptocurrency scene think is going to happen as well. So you have this declining price, and I'm sure you have seen the headline somewhere that the Bitcoin bubble and the cryptocurrency bubble is now bursting, and everybody is freaking out. Now, that is something that is going to happen, obviously, when these prices decline. It's kind of planned that this is all happening. It's weird that we're just going to go take a look at the markets today, and I'm going to let you guys look at it. So Bitcoin's only down about 3.5% in the 24-hour span, and that's one of the lower ones. A lot of other ones are, unless you're IOTA or Nano, since Roblox has rebranded to Nano, they're up today, up a good amount. Tether, still holding $1, hopefully, but we'll see where that goes. Populous, Binance Coin, probably a lot of people are moving out of their whatever altcoins they have in Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, and they're probably buying into the Binance Coin as a stable currency, and it looks like it is definitely going up in price. So those people could be making, even though it is only 6% or 2 or 3% they're making, if their coin was dropping 2 or 3%, they might be potentially making 4% based on if they were holding the price or holding onto their coin or what they sold, and they can get back into it for even just a little bit more. And when these markets are moving, if you're somebody that wants to take the risk or knows what you're doing, that's definitely something that's great, is to accumulate more coins on a falling market if you want to take the chance or if you know what you're doing. If you're not somebody that knows what you're doing, I really wouldn't take the chance, but it looks like every day you wake up and these coins are just going down and down. So if you would have cashed out into US dollar Tether, which I would not suggest because I feel like that is just a crazy currency to hold, and it is just so risky because at any moment it could collapse. If just some sort of crazy news comes out about it that Bitfinex does not have the funds stored away in a separate wallet or whatever in their reserves. So it's definitely very risky to hold that. I feel like that is just like holding a BitConnect token. So you don't want to be stuck with that. But if you do want to trade around, a great time to accumulate more is when the markets are all falling. But I just like to hold my cryptocurrencies and not really pay attention to things and just go enjoy my free time when the markets are falling, because I know they're going to go back up. And I'm going to talk about some reasons why I think they're going to go back up here. So I'm sure you guys have seen kind of these comparison charts and stuff like that. I'm not going to bring up the actual charts because they're kind of blurry, the way people have them like screenshotted and all that, but I'm just going to scroll through here and show you guys kind of like how the charts react year to year and how they are reacting this year. So every year it seems like in the mid-January time we have a dip, and it seems to hit the lowest point in the whole year. Not really sure why that is or what that has to correlate with of anything that is going on, but a lot of markets have to do with China, and the Chinese New Year is on February 16th. So you could potentially have just a lot of Chinese companies, since China was a major hub in cryptocurrencies up until, mid 2017, when they decided to really crack down on cryptocurrencies, and then it started to move over to Korea and Japan. Still, the Chinese New Year, I think this year is going to still have an influence on cryptocurrency markets. And as you continue here, we hit the Chinese New Year right here, and the day before Chinese New Year there was a huge sell-off, kind of stabilized a little bit, and then it took off right at the beginning of March, end of February, and there was a little price gain, and then it slowly pulled back. Now you want to also take into account that this is in 2015. This cryptocurrencies were not as big as they are now. Right now you have just injected the media steroids into cryptocurrencies, and everybody is so interested in them, and that is why we are seeing such a volatile market. So if we go up to 2016 and look at it, we can see kind of the same looking chart. You have a buildup, and then it is a major sell-off in the beginning to mid-January. A little bit of a stabilization. We hit mid-February, and we have a buy and then a little bit of a sell-off again, a little bit of a stabilization, a little bit of market volatility going through March, and then it goes up again. And that was in 2016, so still cryptocurrencies weren't that big. But as we move into 2017, when cryptocurrencies started to grow, mainstream started to get into cryptocurrencies. I know everyday people, investors, traders were getting into cryptocurrencies towards the mid-year. That's when you had the Bitcoin futures and real institutional money and investors getting interested in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and what they had to offer. And that's why you sort of towards May start to see that going up, because from May on it was just kind of like an exponential growth in the whole community. So if we look at the early part of the year, there's not really too much of a buy and sell. It is very small last year in 2017. So we have just this little height here, and it's just a little bit of a sell-off, and then it starts to go, it stabilizes, and then there's another sell-off before another huge buy again. So that brings me to what I want to look at this year. I'm going to have to shrink this down before I can drag it. And we're going to take a look so far at what our markets look like this year. So here is mid-January, and we saw our buy off at the beginning, or our big buy at the beginning of January, our height, and then we have our sell-off down to the bottom. And the problem is now we also have another sell-off. So at the point of this being probably the lowest point on our other charts in comparison, we also started to recover here, and now we had another sell-off. Now these sell-offs were created from external sources. You had one of the situations that was created when South Korea said that they were going to ban cryptocurrencies. And now within the last day, you had South Korea come out and say they weren't going to ban cryptocurrencies and they weren't pursuing that ban in any way. But that also had a huge effect on the market, because South Korea is a major holder of cryptocurrencies and they have a lot of influence on the markets. So as we start to go through here, this is all of the damage done by the South Korea news. We have a slight recovery, and then all of a sudden you have the US dollar tether information that comes out, and it was the US dollar tether information actually came out, I think it was like December 23rd was when the report was actually released, or the subpoena was sent from the US regulators, and it was official, but you know, it actually came to light just like last week. So you had that everybody in the market started reacting to that, because US dollar tether is in the top coins, and it is really not a coin or an innovation or anything like that at all. It is just a 1-to-1 ratio, a stable coin for people to hold on to when the markets start dipping. And if everybody is holding on to this coin and they start thinking that this coin is going to potentially collapse or something like that, or you know, this coin obviously just collapsed more or less, and if it does collapse, they're holding a valueless token that they sold their valuable tokens or altcoins for. So they're going to be trying to get out of that, and you're going to have just a bunch of market craziness going on. I saw US dollar tether token went down to like 98 or 97 cents, which is actually crazy since it's supposed to be pegged to a 1-to-1 ratio, and it actually dropped about 3 or 4%. And then just over the past couple days, we've just had so much FUD coming out about cryptocurrencies. You had India saying that they were going, like right in this point, you had India saying that they were going to, what the media would like to say, ban cryptocurrencies. But in reality, all India was saying is that they were going to crack down on illegitimate use of cryptocurrencies, which more or less means that they're going to look into exchanges that don't have KYC going on to verify users' information, and they want to probably also crack down on illicit use like drugs and just things like darknet services people would take part in. So I'm sure as cryptocurrencies start to grow, those things are going to slightly start to grow, but a lot more people are getting into this because of what the value transfer is, the ability to, you know, make so much profit on these cryptocurrencies. People aren't really caring what they could be doing with them at this point, because not many people are accepting them or using them for buying and selling things. A lot of people are just buying them and holding them until the price goes up or does something, goes sideways, and then they're going to sell them. And they're going to sell it into whatever local currency they have, and then they're going to go out and partake in whatever they want to do. But they also said that the cryptocurrencies were not a legal tender in India, which, I mean, pretty much is already known. Cryptocurrencies, people don't accept cryptocurrencies. Nobody accepts really a direct cryptocurrency if you do have like a cryptocurrency debit card, like I have a Shift card, it is transferred through a middleman. So if I go out and I would use it on anywhere that does accept Visa cards, I could buy something, but essentially the place that I am buying it from isn't accepting Bitcoin, they're accepting cash, because there's a middleman behind this card that transfers it from Bitcoin to cash and then gives them the cash. And that middleman is Metropolitan Commercial Bank, and they take all the Bitcoin and then they give the receiver, the recipient party, whoever you're sending that to, an equal amount of US dollars or whatever you are transferring it into. Shift is only available to be used in the United States, so wherever I would use that would be US dollars. So it's not really Bitcoins that are getting spent and someone is holding Bitcoins. There's someone in the middle that is, just shifting Bitcoins for dollars and being kind of a middleman, serviceman. But, as these charts just kind of show, if you look at them over time, that cryptocurrencies, even though they have had their dip at the beginning of the year, they start to pull back and start to grow. And I think we would have already hit our growing point if these random FUD news articles wouldn't be coming out, which I think they were being pushed out for a certain reason. And that reason is because I think cryptocurrencies are going to continue to grow. So if you know anything about Bitcoin, or you've been paying attention to Bitcoin, you know that recently Bitcoin got added onto the futures market. So I'm going to take you guys onto the futures. These are some futures options and products that are offered on the futures market. And you can go through here. I've been scrolling through all of these pages, and it tells you what the grouping is, what the exchange you can buy it on, the expiry. That's how long that your futures contracts would last. Some of them are cash settled, and some of them are cash on or delivery, whatever. And the cash settlement are 90-day contracts, so you can see if you are getting a cash settlement contract or how you are doing these and what the time frame of them are. You can see the product and the company and the code. And I've been going through these pages, and I really have not seen one bullshit product on here. I haven't seen anything that has really been like, toenails, cat fur, baby pacifiers, things like that mean nothing. You go through here and there's coal, natural gas, you have resources, minerals, precious metals, you have livestock, electricity, just everything is on here. And the thing is, from what I have done and what I have found, there has not been many futures commodities added recently. I think the last commodities were added back in the 1970s. So it's been about 40 plus years since there has been any other commodities before Bitcoin futures added on to the futures exchanges, which is very interesting because, if there's any reason for these people to just make money trading random commodities, they're going to take it. But for some reason, Bitcoin just got added onto this. Do you think Bitcoin's going to get added onto a futures market at the very height of its capabilities? No, it's not. This is just the beginning of this whole trading market. And this is just one aspect of the way people are going to take advantage of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And I've heard rumors that Ethereum might even potentially get added onto a futures exchange, which would be very interesting. So to say that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and all that are dying and the bubble is bursting, I just think it's false. Just very fake information you're getting. So you can go through here, you can look at all of these. I haven't really found anything that is just like complete bullshit of a product that would just be listed here and has no sort of a backing or anything to it. And something else I also want to look at to kind of authenticate that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going to keep going and trending is this article that was actually from November 29th of last year. So 2017, we got to go back a couple months. And we want to look at this. And what is this article about? It is about the Nasdaq is set to launch Bitcoin futures. The Nasdaq is one of the biggest open stock trading markets in the world. You have the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, and the S&P 500. Those are the biggest trading markets. And what they plan to do is if you read through here, this is when Bitcoin was just hitting $11,000. Everyone was getting onto it. This news probably also led to a lot of people also investing in it, institutional money, stuff like that. And just everybody was excited about this news. And if you go through this article, it actually says that they do not plan to actually add it until right here, the second or the third quarter of 2018. So that is from June until the end of the year, potentially, they might take to add this. Now, they might add it sometime around like April, May, but I don't think they're going to add it at the beginning of the second quarter. I think they're going to delay it till the end of the second quarter and potentially even wait till the third quarter. So you've got till maybe even the middle of 2018 before you have another big boom of cryptocurrencies. We might see an exact pattern of what we saw last year, an exact side-by-side chart of just, cryptocurrencies hit their bottom point and then they just start growing throughout the year. And then you'll have the Nasdaq will release its Bitcoin futures news and everybody will keep getting onto it, kind of just how you had this, how CME released their Bitcoin futures news and everyone was getting onto it. And it's going to lead to just kind of a deja vu situation for cryptocurrencies, I think. As well as I talked about, you have the Chinese New Year, which is on February 16th. I think they're going to be willing to spend a little bit more of their money in their new year. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today in cryptocurrencies. The only thing I just want to tell you through all of this is to hold. Keep hodling your coins, holding your coins. Do not sell in these red markets. If there's anything I want to get through to you in this whole video, it is that if you are even holding a cryptocurrency today that is worth 1 penny and you bought it at 10 cents, it still has the potential to go up to 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. If you want to continue to hold on to it, there might be other coins out there that might have the potential to do 20 or 30x if you want to take the chance and go into them. But personally, I like to just hold on to my coins. If I am going to sell, and I don't see a coin that has extreme potential and something that I think is going to go up relatively quick that I can make my money back on, I'm more than likely going to just hold on to the tokens that I have until they go back up to their recover to their original value and exceed for a little bit of a profit. And then normally I'll sell maybe some of my holdings of that coin and then I'll reinvest it into something else. But I never really like to sell my coins at a low point of the market, because if you look at cryptocurrencies as a whole, if you look at it as a whole market, it's been continuing to grow year after year. If you would have got into cryptocurrencies a year ago and you would have started buying Bitcoin, in the $900, $800 region, you would still be up 10, 12 times your money that you put into it. But just because the media started emphasizing how great cryptocurrencies were and started talking about how this great coin, Bitcoin was going up 5, 10, 20, 30% a day, and everybody from the everyday crowd wanted to start to get into it, and they started buying at an all-time high. That doesn't mean that is the worst time to buy into the cryptocurrency. That was the worst time for them personally to buy into it. And if you did buy into it with your entire capital at an all-time high, I feel bad for you, but it's only been 2 months into this entire space, and there's a lot of people who have been in this space I have personally been heavily dedicated to this space for about a year, maybe even a little over a year at this point, but I've been heavily interested in Bitcoin and what it has to offer for almost 4 years now. So I've definitely seen the markets fluctuate. I've seen definitely high times of Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin when it was $600 and $700 and didn't really understand what was happening when it would drop down to $500 and $400, and there goes such a large chunk of your profit and any potential profit that you have to make. And I was selling my Bitcoin when they were dropping because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know it had the opportunity and potential to recover. And in the long run, if I would have just held on to the Bitcoins I had back then, and relative to what I have now, and not have got caught up in all the markets and how the markets were moving and buying and selling and all that, I would have been set for life and many lives. So it's just very interesting in the long run. If you were to, maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, if you're still in this space, if you're somebody that just got into this space maybe a month or two ago, and you were to look back at it and say, wow, I bought Bitcoin for 19,000 and I freaked out and sold it for 12,000, and now Bitcoin's at $125,000, and if I would have just held my original one Bitcoin that I bought at $19,000, I'd have $125,000 now. But I sold it when I lost 50%, and now I only have $60,000 profit, or not even profit. It'll only be $40,000 profit. But you've went through all of that emotional distress and all of that just dealing with the markets and what they have to offer and checking your portfolio and all that over the time, and you ended up losing money, more money than what you ever would have imagined you were probably going to lose, especially when you sold on a market that dropped down after $6,000 or whatever, and then you sold, and now you watched that you could have potentially even doubled your money, your profit, that what you made when the coin does eventually go up. So you always want to take into consideration, just because a coin today might be $8,800 doesn't mean tomorrow that it's not going to be $12,000. We might start to see that uptrend, or we might see more bad news start to come out and knock these prices back down. But what I don't think is that this is the bubble popping for cryptocurrencies or for Bitcoin in any way. I think, if anything, institutional money is, someone's got to be there to catch your sell order. Someone's got to buy it if your sell order is going through. So somebody sees potential, or they're not going to buy it if it's going to be a completely falling market and they don't see any potential for profit to be made. So there's people out there buying these as their sells being placed. And I think the people that are buying most of these are the institutional money and the people who realize what is going to come, people who have plans for Bitcoin, these big bankers and stuff that are like, yeah, we're going to keep spreading all this FUD news about Bitcoin, but wait for 1 month from now or 2 months from now when we come out with this information and news and Bitcoin starts surging up, because you're going to have people who put in, maybe their life savings into Bitcoin and they lost 20-30% and they're like, I'm done. And then all of a sudden Bitcoin starts going up 30-40-50%, and they're watching this and they're going, wow, I sold a while ago, and it keeps going up, and they're going to go, okay, I'm getting back in. I'm not going to keep watching this go up. I'm going to get back in and I'm going to recoup all my losses that I made. And they start putting their money back in, even though these markets wrecked them before and they lost 50-75% of their life savings potentially. They're getting back into the markets because they start growing again. And that is just the instinct that these people are going to have. And what everybody has is these markets start to grow and shake, and these are going to shake out the weak hands. So hold on to your cryptocurrencies. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. These markets are going to grow up again, and you are going to be sick to your stomach if you sell today for a loss. So if you do feel like selling, smash your computer, go crash your car into something with your computer in it, be safe while you're doing it, because, you don't want to get hurt. I'm not suggesting be stupid, but, do whatever you can to kill some time and not be on your computer. And even if you do crash your car or break your computer, the losses that you're going to save yourself are going to be able to buy you a new car and computer and house and pool, and maybe even a county if you want to move your friends and family into a small county or something in the future. If you don't sell your cryptocurrencies now, maybe you can buy a county. So all I'm trying to tell you guys is to hold on to your cryptocurrencies. If I haven't got your attention yet, I'm not really sure what will if I start screaming, but I have family over, so I can't really start yelling. But just hold, continue to hold, guys. I know it's really hard when you see these markets dipping, you see your portfolio dipping. I've seen my portfolio go from 6 digits to 5 digits, and it's ridiculous. And I've lost a decent amount. I've lost about 75-80%, but I know for a fact that these are going to continue to go up. So continue holding, guys. It's going to be a better day, not maybe tomorrow, not maybe the next day, but maybe in a few days. So just continue to smile, because we're still up in profit, depending on when you bought into them. But if you've been in it for a while and you've been buying and selling and putting your capital in correctly, you're probably still up on the markets. If not, just ride it out. We're going to be making a lot of money this year, everybody, and I hope you just can understand that and hold on to your cryptocurrencies. I just hate to see you sell your cryptocurrency or this valuable growing asset to somebody that is just trying to get it because they already have billions and billions of dollars, and you're going to grow their portfolio even more, and they're already rich beyond belief. So all I can tell you is to hold on to these. Thanks, guys, and that's all I've got for you. I'll talk to you again in the next couple days, hopefully. I'll see you.